the last thing that we are going to talk about tonight is something that, Troy, Trevor and myself have really put a lot of thought behind for months. I will say that a lot of times when we're out in public and we have an opportunity to meet people that listen to the Tar Pit podcast, it's a joy. And it's an honor. It's a joy to chop it up with those all of you guys that we're able to meet, and the people that all the guys that come to people that come to our game day live shows. But one of the questions that gets asked to us more times than not is that, have you guys ever considered covering other sports? Have you at Carolina will you guys ever cover any other sports? And for the longest of time, we said no, that we took pride, and we still do, being the only Tar Pit podcast, we are the only Tar Pit podcast, the only podcast that solely is dedicated to Carolina football. Actually, that's not true anymore. There's another one out there, Keenan Concourse, I believe. And there's another one on Twitter too. I can't remember the name they just changed it to, but so spaces that they do on Twitter that they cover Carolina football. But it's something that we have mulled over for a while, and so Troy, Trevor, myself, and Bren going to be a big part of this. Is that we're transitioning to the Tar Pit podcast, and we're going to start covering other Carolina sports, and we're really excited about that, to bring new content to you guys. And so if you've been on Twitter and you've been on Instagram and you've seen another name and another account around called Hills on Franklin, and it's now the Tar Pit podcast is going to be coming Hills on Franklin. And what that means is Hills on Franklin will have series under it that cover all the different sports. So right now we've already got football covered in the Tar Pit podcast. It's going to be the same vibe, the same analysis, the same dedication, the same amount of episodes, the same breakdowns, player by player, position by position. Nothing's changing. The only thing that's changing, I guess you would say, is just the corporate part of it. You could kind of say the business side, and growing the Tar Pit podcast and morphing it into something bigger. And so our first sport that we're going to be covering is Carolina baseball, and that's called Hills on the Diamond. And Andrew Force, who's been here on the Tar Pit podcast in the past throughout the season, that was all intentional. That was to get him used to podcasting. So next week we're going to record our first episode for Carolina baseball. It's called Hills on the Diamond, and it's a lot of the question. One of the questions I get is, what does Hills on Franklin mean? And this some would say it's a problem, but this is not unique to Carolina. When a fan at Ohio State or Florida or Duke or NC State, we all grow up loving a certain sport, right? Some of us are Tar Heel basketball fans. Some of us are Tar Heel football fans. While we cheer for all, we sometimes lean one way or the other, right? Going to listen to all the football games or listen to all the basketball games. And so Hills on Franklin name comes from, no matter what fan of the team you are or team you cheer for at Carolina, all fans at Carolina end up on Franklin Street. And so that's the meaning behind the name, is that Hills on Franklin. No matter what team you cheer for, we all end up on Franklin Street, if that's rushing after beating Duke, or if that's, I will say that you can't rush Franklin Street from the new place that they're considering building, the Smith Center, but that's another topic for a different day. Or rushing Franklin Street after a national championship, right? No matter what team you cheer the most for, you can find all Tar Heel fans on Franklin Street. Troy, Trevor, I want to kick it to you a little bit just to kind of get your thoughts and the vision behind this. Yes, we are going to be covering Hills on the Hardwood eventually with basketball, but we're just not going to start throwing every single sport into this. We really want to do a good job in providing the best content that we can for you guys. So we're going to be bringing in other hosts that can help out with other sports that know, because I know basketball, but I don't know it like I know football. right? I mean, I understand screens and different play designs, but I also don't have a passion for basketball. Like I have a passion for football. And so we want to do our due diligence in finding the right host for these shows. And we've done that with Heels on the Diamond in Carolina baseball with Andrew Force. He's a season ticket holder, graduated from the J School of Carolina. So he's going to fit in right in with you guys. But Troy, Trevor, just shortly, kind of just talk to us a little bit about that. And Brent, I want to get your thoughts as well.
Yeah, so I'll kick it off. We had sat down and talked about, when Chris, you had joined the Tar Pit on, us dedicating this to just solely Carolina football. That was where we were at with it. But all of us, to tell you the truth, we follow more than just Carolina football, and we have a passion for other sports as well. I remember growing up and hearing my dad scream at the TV in 2005, screaming for Sean May to get a rebound in the NCAA tournament when they went on to win a national championship against Illinois. So, the passion for all Carolina sports. Carolina's got a rich athletic department. And not just revenue generating sports, but Olympic sports as well. In women's field hockey, women's soccer, everything, men's lacrosse, women's lacrosse. I'm sure I'm missing quite a few other national championship winning programs, but nonetheless, we have a passion for it. And I want to put an emphasis that the Tar Pit is going to stay the same. This is something that I started 4 years ago, the Tar Pit podcast, and it is something that I love. I love talking football. It's where my passion is, deep down, being that I played it all of my life, and I love college football. I love Carolina football. So I do want to put an emphasis on it that nothing about the Tar Pit will change. We are branding underneath. I guess you could say branding, but we're gonna be underneath Heels on Franklin to bring a more wider versed Carolina content to all of our viewers. I guess you could say. Chris, is that a good explanation for it?
Yes. Sorry, I was reading something on the side.
No, you're good, bud. I'm excited about it. I really, really am. I watch every Carolina basketball game. I'm excited for Andrew's show with Heels on the Diamond. We've got a great baseball program at Carolina that's up and coming. I think we're there. I think it's a sleeping giant. I think we got a chance to make it back to Omaha and win the whole damn thing here soon. I really, really do. But I'm excited for it. Excited to keep growing the Tar Pit, and excited to be with Heels on Franklin, and the show goes on. We keep moving.
Trevor, get in here a little bit, and then Brent.
Yeah, I'm gonna say we want to take it to another level, right?
Yep.
And we want to put out good content. And if you know us well enough, we don't like half-assing stuff. So when you speak about bringing hosts and getting people for different basketball, like we want to do more. We're all fans of all this. We love this university, all these different sports and things, but we want to do it right. Right. So we were like, we're not going to get on here and start talking about it. We're not going to half-ass anything. I played baseball since I was 3 years old. I watch all the games and stuff, but Andrew knows a hell of a lot more about Carolina baseball than I do, just to be real, when it comes to that stuff. So we're going to go out there and we want to put out good stuff for you guys and not bullcrap stuff. So I'm excited about it, man. I'm excited to see it grow. We all work together. We all put out good stuff. And I mean, Chris, you're playing the huge role in producing all this stuff, and it's going to be fun. I know how talented you are, man. It's going to be fun to watch.
Yeah, and Trevor, I think what a lot of it boils down to, right, and I appreciate those kind of comments, is that we take a lot of pride in being able to talk about the sport from an educational standpoint, right? Teaching about the sport, play design, breaking down plays, and so when it comes to that, when having other podcasts around basketball, women's basketball, we want to be able to have hosts that can break down plays with the fans, teach them the game. And I'm not the one for that, right? I'm okay with admitting that. I can help you with football, but I cannot help you with helping you break down play design, right? And I'm not going to fake that either. So I think that's just where it comes for us, is that we want to do our due diligence, and we don't just want to be podcast that gives you stats. You can go to the game blog on ESPN and figure that out. It blows my mind that there are podcasts that just gives you stats and calls it a day. They have thousands of viewers. It's like you could have just read the ESPN article. But anyway, Bryn, kind of give me your thoughts, sir, about this. And then Troy,
I am so fired up. I will say this: I think there's only been a handful of guys that have played both sports in college at the same time. I was one of those guys. And I got a chance to be on the baseball team with Mike Fox, and Scott Forbes was the pitching coach, and Scott Jackson was the hitting coach, and Brian Gaines I played baseball with. Jesse Wiersbicki was the catcher from JUCO that we got. Unbelievable guys. I had dinner with Scott Forbes at S&T's, my favorite place in Pittsburgh, and I baseball means a lot to me. I went to a ton of games. I still do. My parents are season ticket holders to the baseball games, and I still go back. Those guys are really close to me, and were vital in my career. I rode in Scott Forbes' red truck after a spring practice game where I threw a freaking touchdown pass and hopped in the truck, and I was playing against Maryland the next day, starting at first base. And that's a true story. And I started in football. I started in baseball before I ever started in football, and they gave me that opportunity. And Chris and I have talked about it, and also the boys, man. Like, this place is so rich in tradition across every single sport. There's 23 sports on campus, and that is incredible to where we want to go. And I think with Chris's vision and Trevor and Troy all on board, and we're going to be one big unit here covering a wide variety of things. But once again, it starts with leadership, and I think this. We're all going to attack this thing full speed and be the one-stop shop for all things Carolina athletics here soon.
I'm excited for it. I'm thrilled to provide people the in-depth breakdowns like we do for Carolina football. And that's going to continue too. The one thing about the Tar Pit that we pride ourselves on is putting out, Chris, you talk about educating people on the game, all 22 film breakdowns, having Bryn, JJ on to give their, insight and their knowledge on things that we don't really know about or don't think about. You know what I mean? So taking that approach to what we do here at the Tar Pit and putting that energy and that mindset into something different is going to be fun. It is something different. I'm looking forward to it, and it's going to be a big thing. I'm excited for the takeover, fellas.
Yeah, I mean, that's our promise, right? Just to piggyback off that off of that really quick, Troy, is that and this is the last thing because I know we need to close, is that I'm not saying I'm gonna be the last thing. If y'all want to add something, whatever, right? But I'm not I just lost my train of thought. Dag. Happens to the best of us, right?
I think you were going with us putting out quality content.
Nothing is going to change with the Tar Pit podcast. That was Troy's response to me when I brought this vision to him, is that nothing can change. And I was like, yeah, we can change. We can just get better, right? We can provide more.
If anything, I want to highlight my guy's comment. We're going to put out more.
I mean, in season, we were putting out 2 to 3, right? 3, right? A week. So, even next year going in, we'll have the all 22 2 days after each game, right? And we're going to provide an episode that's educational, breaking down the games from a film perspective. Looking at this, looking at that, drawing on the screens, the whole 9 yards. It's going to be free, uploaded to YouTube or a live episode. We haven't figured out how we're going to do it. All we know is going to be free. It's going to be free to the public because you guys and fans deserve that. And so we're going to give you that. I don't have anything else. Bryn, Trevor, Troy, y'all ready to get out of here after almost 2 hours and 15 minutes?
Season 4 is here, boys.
Let's go, baby.
It's an exciting time, and I'm happy to be doing it with you three fellas, and let's get it.